In today's tutorial, we're going to look at an analysis of a new DAS system. We will focus specifically on the RSRP per PCI report that is available inside of DASView. This example will use sample data from an arena with a typical seating area. Your IB-Wave output will include predictions of the dominant PCI, but the reality of your installed DAS might be quite different. Here we have measured RSRP for the dominant PCI, and we have a map which shows the PCI as dominant for each of the different seating areas. But these images don't always tell the whole story. To look deeper at this problem, we'll take a look inside of DASView. We'll start with a project that's been loaded into DASView here at the top. First thing we'll do is click on the RSRP by PCI option. This will generate all the maps needed for our report when we want to look at the specific RSRP for each individual PCI. We will go into the details of the report by selecting View Project Summary, and then go straight into the report and select RSRP by PCI. We will look at the 3 scanner channels, the floor that we're interested in, and the 2 KPIs, RSRP and dominant PCI. We will select the PDF option and hit export. Once the PDF is open, we see that there's a tab here for RSRP by PCI, which will jump you to the location in the report that has the details for each specific PCI. The table above it, this is the dominant PCI, so it'll show all the PCIs that were strongest in their respective areas. Here we have the first one, which is PCI 187, followed by 201, then 202, and 203, and the final 3 as well. Returning to DASView, if we look at the floor plan, we can look at the dominant PCI here. Further details can be found in this tab here that shows the PCI. We'll look at specific floor, and now we have a list of all the PCIs that were found. If we look at 201, we have the option to look at where was that PCI dominant, showing this north section of the seating area. If I wanted to look at the RSRP, this one will show how 201 propagates throughout the entire arena. The strength you can see in the legend. There's an option to name each PCI as part of a specific zone or location, or whether that's part of a DAS or the macro. We will first label PCI 187 as macro. Then we will identify the other PCIs as either part of the north or south zone, and the location will be the seating area. You will see that after we've labeled the PCIs, they'll show up in the list here. Let's look specifically at 187, which we identified as a macro PCI. It now becomes clear to us where that macro is penetrating inside of our DAS. Let's take another look at all of the PCIs associated with our north section of the seating area. We'll look at the dominant PCI, and here the map looks quite good. All the dominants are actually part of the north section. Let's compare that to the south. Again, just the dominant PCI. And here we have a lot of pollution. The south section is showing a lot of power and a lot of dominance in that northern section that it should not. Next, we'll look at the power of those PCIs for the south section. Here, the RSRP is strong throughout that section. Our final topic for today will look at a condition when you have two simultaneous DAS systems operating in the arena at the same time. In this case, we can label each PCI as part of a separate DAS. We'll show PCI 471 as part of DAS number 1. We'll now go into the report and look specifically at the IB Wave export option. We have an option to exclude certain DAS systems from our export. We'll select DAS 1, and now when we export the IBWC file, it will re-look at all the data and exclude PCI 471 from the report.